Thank you, Kim, and welcome everyone. This is our November meeting with our AGM and elections, which will be fairly brief. Our meetings are open to everyone, and so spread the word. This will be our agenda for the evening. As I said, we're going to quickly do an AGM and elections, then move to our main presentation with Glenn Wright, followed by a question and answer period for his topic, then some news, business, upcoming meetings. And at the very end, if we have a bit of time left, we'll open up and answer any questions in the chat. So to begin the annual general meeting, I'll be giving my yearly chair's report. So the Durham Region Branch has had an interesting year, as many organizations have had. Our office and library has been closed along with the church building due to the COVID-19 pandemic. But with the easing of restrictions, we've been able to enter the building now and start the process of flattening our large collection of maps and charts in order to place them in our new map cabinet. Many thousands of our library items, well over 3,000, have been entered in an Excel spreadsheet, and once checked against the physical inventory, will soon be used to create an online library catalog index to our holdings. Zoom has been wonderful for reaching our distance members and guests. However, it has been a challenge to try and duplicate the in-person experience of our meetings. We will continue to use Zoom into the spring as we explore the mechanics of presenting hybrid meetings in the future. Presenters have enriched our branch meetings these last 12 months with topics on show and tell, researching your female ancestors, WikiTree, FamilySearch.org, portable genealogy, East European research, tracing 20th century Ontarians, collateral and cluster searching, and researching women on ancestry.ca. At our last November annual general meeting, we welcomed volunteer Jane Wilson as our recording secretary, and she's been a gem. Our DNA special interest group has continued virtually, but is restricted to a private email group. Zoom presentations have been made for the Bowmanville Older Adults Association on beginning genealogy and DNA. Thanks to an eager volunteer, Shelley Lunny, we prepared one new cemetery section and did second editions for 4 other cemetery sections this year. By the end of last December, all our old cemeteries had new title pages with GPS coordinates and civic addresses. They were then uploaded to the Ontario Ancestors e-store, which is also called Marketplace. And I have to give kudos to our cemetery committee for the work. Our newsletter maintained its high quality again, but the lack of a newsletter editor is keenly felt. The council is working hard to keep our newsletter going. We have one member who is acting as the layout editor, but we do need an editor to plan themes and actively recruit content. Our other needs include a social media person, programming person, and a branch vice chair. I urge those who are finding time hanging heavily on their hands to consider volunteering with our branch. We have many projects that will fit your talents and can be done from home. Respectfully submitted by myself, Chair of Durham Region Branch. So these are the elected positions. I will note that nominations will be taken from the floor, but the nominee must be present and signify willingness to stand. And at this point, I'm going to hand the virtual gavel over to our illustrious past chair, Stephen Wood, so that he can run the elections. Oh, sorry, Kim, I think you may need to make him a co-chair in co-presenter.
Sorry, who was that, Nancy?
Stephen Wood. I hope he's here.
I'm looking for him. Oh, no, there he is. Make him a co-host.
Or at least give him a microphone.
No, he's got a host. He's co-host now. He can unmute when he's ready.
Okay, great.
Okay, thank you very much, Nancy, and we'll get the elections underway. As Nancy has stated, we have 4 positions that must be elected. I guess I better check. Can everybody hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay, perfect. No sense going through the whole spiel and have to do it again. Okay, so our current slate, as you can see on the slide, Nancy Tribble has been our chair for many years and has done a wonderful job. But of course, she's wearing a lot of hats, and I think she'd like to give away a hat or two. Vice chair has been vacant for quite a few years. The position of vice chair, of course, is to hopefully train someone to eventually take over the position of chair, but not to throw you in all at once. So that is the idea behind the vice chair position. Recording secretary, again, as Nancy mentioned, Jane stepped up last year, and we really thank her for that, and she's done a wonderful job. And treasurer is Sheila Iacono, and she has been doing that for quite a few years as well. And again, we're in the black, so she's doing a great job. Okay, we'll start off with the position of chair. Now, how are we going to see this? Are they going to put it in the chat, Nancy? We did not discuss that. If there are any submissions.
Yes, in the chat, if people wish to nominate someone or to volunteer themselves for the position, we'll work with the chat window.
Okay.
So send it to Ontario Ancestors Host.
Okay, if you might, your little box might say everyone at the moment. And
Okay, that's fine too.
That's fine too. Okay, whichever
Yes.
you like then. I was just going to say they could just do the drop down from the everyone, and that's where it'll say Ontario Ancestors Host. So just so they know where to find it.
Okay, so we will have to allow enough time for typing.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'm taking nominations from the floor for the position of chair. Again, basically, you've heard Nancy talking, and she generally has this position set up so that she runs both the meeting and quite often runs the executive meeting. So basically 2 nights a month is the desired interest. I mean, people do go away for holidays, and that we can cover that position if there is any trouble that way. We do have subs, but generally 2 nights a month is what we ask. And if you have any PowerPoint skills, that comes in handy as well. Although again, we will help you with that if necessary. But I will take nominations from the floor and from the net for the position of chair. And I don't know how exactly long to wait, but we'll give it a few seconds anyways.
I think at this point you filled in time beautifully with a description of the position. And
Okay.
if we haven't had someone put it in the chat yet, I think we'll have to move on.
Okay, well,
I'm not seeing anything, Nancy.
okay, so
Okay, thanks, Kim.
first chance. Second try. If there are no nominations, Nancy has agreed to continue in the position of chair, at least until we can get someone else. So If there are no nominations anywhere, I thank you very much, Nancy. Congratulations. We'll now move on to the position of vice chair. Again, if you would like to give it a try, the idea is to learn the job a little bit at a time so that hopefully you can become the chair one day. The rest of the executive are quite willing to help you. You won't be alone in it, and it's doesn't have a lot of responsibilities unless Nancy goes on an extended cruise or something, which isn't likely to happen in the next little while. So again, asking for the position of vice chair. I will assume there's no messages. Going
None on my
once,
end.
going twice. Okay, we will keep the vice chair vacant at the moment. If you decide, or if anyone decides or wants to nominate someone later, or not so much nominate as at least tell the executive members, either Nancy or myself, that they might be interested and want to find out more about it, please see us afterwards. We can always put you in later. Okay, the vice chair is declared vacant at the moment. Recording secretary. This is the job of taking the minutes. Jane has filled in for us and done a wonderful job, and she is willing to continue on in that position, but we will entertain any other nominations from the floor, should anybody be so inclined. And I'm guessing that there's nothing in the boxes.
No typing at this point.
No typing at the moment. Okay, position of recording secretary, going once. Going twice. Congratulations, Jane. It is yours again for 2022, and we really appreciate you offering to continue in that position. Thank you very much, Jane. Okay, now comes the fun one, the treasurer. Again, Sheila has been doing a wonderful job for the past number of years, and she has indicated that she is willing to stay in that position for 2022 should we need her. However, I will also entertain any motions or nominations from the floor for the position of treasurer. And this one does involve a little bit more work because there are some quarterly reports you have to send into head office. So a little bit more involved than some of the other positions. But we are in the black, so we are looking good at the moment.
I'm not seeing any volunteers or nominations from the floor.
Okay. In that case, going once. Going twice. Congratulations, Sheila, and thank you very much for volunteering to be our treasurer for 2022. We really appreciate it. You've done a wonderful job. And this hereby concludes the elections. Again, should you decide if you're interested in learning more about positions on the board, whether elected or even just as a member at large to see what we're up to, please see Nancy or myself, and we will be able to tell you what is available. Thank you very much, everyone.
Thank you, Steve. There's the list of non-elected positions that are most at need, but there are many other areas on our council that are in need of some extra help as well. So now I'm going to move on to our featured presentation. So I'm going to move on now to some recent announcements. OGS has opened up their Grow Our Family campaign. So it started yesterday, so that if you bring in a new member, or if you are wanting to join and you haven't been a member of OGS for the last 2 years, and get a mentor that is renewing, both of you get 50% off your memberships. I have a list of people willing to be mentors. I just need people who want to be mentees. And I actually just saved that. You'll end up paying $31.50 instead of $63. They also have an early bird registration for everybody who renews before November 30th. You'll be automatically enrolled. And I'm sure that they will be announcing what the prices are going to be on the e-weekly newsletter. So make sure you're signed up, everybody. At this point, I'm going to ask Sheila to unmute and talk about the state of our finances. Hopefully she is able to.
Nancy, I'm not seeing her in the group.
Okay, maybe she had problems with her computer. This is the report she sent to me for September and October. Our withdrawals were around just under $800, and deposits around, oh, what's that, about $450, and our current balance is $2,680.70. So we're still in good shape. Just quickly, even though COVID's been on, there's been quite a bit of movement on the Vernon's Directories project. This was a project announced in 2019 between Ontario Ancestors, Library and Archives Canada, and Family Search to digitize the Vernon's Directories. And Ontario Ancestors holds the publisher's permission to have them digitized as long as we don't monetize them. So that's why they are being hosted on Family Search. And the here's a direct link in to the website, but just go to books and look for, Vernon's, and then choose down your left-hand side subject, and you can see the names of the various areas that have been digitized so far. 1,100 results, and I'm sure it's more today. There's the ones for Oshawa and Whitby. That's all I found in Durham region. 61 for Oshawa, 38 for Whitby. OGS branches. These are the November webinars. Kim is going to be very busy hosting those webinars. And these were listed in the last e-weekly newsletter. They are also on the events page of the Ontario Ancestors website. So I hope you find something in there that's of interest to you. The big news this past week, has been the announcement by Find My Past that the England and Wales 1921 census is going to be launched January 6th. But only on Find My Past. There will be charges, £2.50 for every transcript and £3.50 for every original record image. There are 18,235,242 images that they have to pay for. Even those of us with 12-month pro subscriptions, we get a 10% discount, but we still have to pay. Just a note, we have Black Friday and Cyber Monday, well, there is also Giving Tuesday, and it's November the 30th this year. It's a global generosity movement, and I'm not going to give you the quote from the website. We're running out of time. We have a donate button on our website if you feel like being generous to the Durham Region branch. It is posted on Canada Helps. This is what our page looks like. And you get, by return email, you get your donation receipt immediately. And that's why it's beautiful to be posted on Canada Helps. Here's the next Second World War talk, OGS webinars, 2 nights from now. Go on the main page and sign up. Second World War, Researching the Canadian Fallen by Ken McKinley. Primary focus will be on online records and where to find them, but he's going to touch on records that may help out in learning more about those that survived the conflict as well. Our next meeting is our traditional Christmas get-together and a show and tell. So I hope many of you will decide to show and tell at our December meeting. It's a very loose, informal format. But since holding items up to a web camera does not work very well, I would ask that you submit information, photos, PowerPoints, link, whatever you want me to put into a slide, and then you will be asked to unmute your mic and tell us all about it. Here's our upcoming meetings, January, February, and March. Great speaker for January, Dave Obey from Victoria, BC, is going to discuss immigration, emigration, and migration. He wrote the book Destination Canada, which is the premier work on the subject for Canada. In February, we have the archivist, Claire Wilton. She's going to be telling us all about the holdings of the Diocese of Toronto Anglican Church. It is huge. They have 285 congregations and 217 parishes in an area covering 26,000 square kilometers. Very big chunk of central Ontario. So you're going to want to come and hear what they hold in the archives. And in March, we've got Jennifer De Bruyn, and she is a wonderful author and speaker. And it's called Forged in Flames of War, Captive Ancestors in North America. We're talking colonial days when the Indians raided and took prisoners, and then they got taken up to Quebec and sold. And many people don't realize they have ancestors that were captive. Our DNA group will be November 17th. If you're not in our private email group and want to join the Zoom call, please send me an email. I think we're going to have to give up on the chat tonight. But I do want to mention that those of you who did answer my program survey from last month, thank you very much. I really appreciated it. And definitely the choices have been taken into consideration when I set up the winter, spring meetings. Here's Glenn's email. If you need any sort of a handout from him. I will also mention that this recording will be on the Durham Region Branch's YouTube channel in a few days. So if you need to rehear something, you will have the opportunity to. So at that, I hope you will get together with us in December. Also, do not forget that we have our research team just waiting for your email questions. And at this point, I will declare our meeting closed, and I hope to see you next month.